All right, I believe we are live. I'm just going to wait for it to catch up on my phone.
All right.
Are we good? All right, cool. We're live. There's a little bit of a delay, but how we doing?
How's it going, folks?
Good. Yeah, all right. I don't need to hear myself.
Right.
So Cyberverse Trains is here. Hello, Cyberverse.
How's it going, man?
I can't really see if any. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Hello, Adam. Hello. Hey, I can pull up comments. There we go. Okay. Yeah. This is like my first time using StreamYard by myself.
I see.
Yeah, so good. I feel like it's better because if we do watch something on stream, it's better just to pull it up. It's easier.
For sure.
Why is it on the floor as well, actually? Because actually, no, that's not going to work. Never mind.
Just a little bit more.
Okay. All right. So actually, I haven't showed you the thumbnail for this, have I? Hello, DSR. Hello.
Hello, folks.
It is I can't show you. Yeah, this is the thumbnail I made.
Nice.
So
we're actually gonna watch that.
We'll see. I'm not sure how much. Yeah, so I have a shelf. To Unlucky Tug season 11 retrospective, season 12 DVD. The Craigie the Crane, and then Stanley, because we're probably gonna talk about Luck and Stanley. How are you guys' day going? Mine was okay. I had to go all over the place to find a shelf, but yeah. What about you, Terence?
My day was crazy, folks. All right, so I'm here again with Christian. As you can see, I'm on the ground because I'm exhausted. I was in North Carolina for 3 weeks for the Brevard Music Festival. For those of you who don't know about it, look it up. It's a great music festival. If you know any relatives playing instruments or vocalists, look into it. It's open to anyone between the ages of 14 in high school all the way to age 30. All right, so definitely check it out if you're interested for the summer program of next year. Anyhow, I was there for 3 weeks, and I drove from New York to North Carolina, and now from North Carolina back to New York, and Christian happens to be the halfway mark.
Hello.
And he was very, very kind to have me over again for the night, and therefore we are doing yet another live stream.
Yeah.
But as for my day, it has been crazy. I got pulled over by a trooper who apparently was not specific enough as far as, or I didn't understand her, as she had a very slurred accent. She claimed that I needed to go to Virginia court, even though I'm a New York resident. And I tried to go to the website, tried to pay whatever fee I needed to pay for my ticket for going simply 15 miles above the speed limit, which in New York, you really wouldn't get caught for doing that. But I guess, down here in Virginia, the rules are a little different.
I've never had that happen.
Yeah.
Well, granted, I've never been pulled over. So,
well, admittedly, you're also in a different part of Virginia too.
Yeah, it was just really southern. Well, let's not dwell on that. So
let's not. The point being, it's been a stressful day.
He's had a crazy day. So
I've had a crazy day. I'm finally settling in. So
if he seems exasperated, that's why.
That's it. Yes. That's why I'm on the floor. Yeah. That's why I look like a little naughty.
I see a really nice collection in the back. So yeah. So let me talk about this lot right here. So yesterday, actually it was Wednesday. I was scrolling through Facebook Marketplace, and I only go on Facebook Marketplace like once every 2 months, if that. And very rarely do I ever find anything, and when I do, it's usually like 2 hours away from me. You can probably find some pretty cool stuff on there. Conveniently, this one day, I found a lot of all this Thomas Wooden Railway stuff. And the guy was asking $450 for it, and I got it down to like $325. So I paid $325 for all of this stuff right here. So, which is a very good deal. The thing I'm really excited about is I had it was all used in box, but it's all kept in really good condition. So, yeah, there's so really excited about having the Flying Scotsman finally.
Yeah, Wooden Railway relic right there.
I wasn't like dying to have him, but like, man, this guy. Now I will say the 2013 version is probably a little bit better, but obviously this one's the original, so. Has just as much respect.
For sure. And once again, you got all of this for how much?
$325.
$325, folks, for all this, including the boxes.
Yeah, it was insane.
It's a pretty damn good deal.
You show us all the diesels, yeah. So let me show it down here. Actually, let me hold it down. So
you want me to hold them up?
You can. Yeah.
All right, sure.
So
well, first of all, actually, maybe we'll start with the character cards.
Yeah. So, he had
should we angle it down like that?
Yeah. So there's like inquiring cards.
Okay.
These two were like not in this lot, so he might have had them and then just lost them over time. But
I
he
see.
somehow still have the character cards.
Yeah, I got the classic Sir Handle.
Also have an Edwards tender, but no Edward. So if anybody has an
Edward without a tender,
1999 Edward,
yeah,
please help me complete the set.
hit him up.
Not crazy about it, but yeah, this Magic Railroad stuff's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I will say I don't know why they made this top part so huge. It's
Yeah.
so like bulky, but it makes it feel more special.
Definitely. Definitely.
Got this track, got the roundhouse, got the creepy prototype Cranky, which
With the weird face.
yeah. I don't know, but granted, now I think they've all came like this.
Mm-hmm.
I think
is that the OG with the different magnet?
Yeah,
I think the magnet was shaped a little differently, right?
Was it? I don't know.
I think so. Slightly differently, that is. I'm not really sure. Actually, I'm not a wooden railway expert. I was at least as much as I used to be.
Yeah. So that water tower, I actually really like that. That water tower picture with Peter Sam.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
That's a classic.
Yeah, I got this figure 8 set, and this transfer table, which I still have to look up the price of because apparently it's pretty rare.
Yes, and I'm hoping to snag that from Christian because that's one of the.
He'll probably leave with it by the end of today.
Yeah.
So,
it's one of the primary destinations I never had as a kid, and I always wanted it. So, yeah.
Yeah. There we go. I'll probably put this back up here. You can still see it. So I was actually never too acquainted with the wooden railway because I grew up with Tomy Trackmaster. Actually, I think I first started out with diecast, and then I had a few Brio trains, and then when I was spending most of my time at my grandparents, I had a bunch of Trackmaster, and then I think I started getting into collecting TWR. When you know that the big era with like MPS and Eric Pierre, wooden railway reviews. Yeah. That they kind of really inspired me to go out and collect more wooden railway, which
it's like the early 2010s, right?
Yeah, but the only stuff I could really like get that was like in store was the new Mattel stuff, which isn't bad. But I ended up selling off a bunch of it. Some of it I kind of wish I kept because I sold the Peter Sam's Dynamite Delivery for pretty cheap, and now it's like super rare, unfortunately.
Yeah. And FYI, folks, this stream is indeed sponsored by Evian Water.
I actually haven't tried it yet.
It's
Evian water. Apparently, it's the best water.
It is the best water in America. Yep. Bottled in France, pH level of 7.2. Tastes a little different, and it's much better for you. You taste the slight difference?
There is, yeah.
Yeah, smoother,
Spring
right? Exactly. So it's worth the price.
Spring water is the best water.
Well, specifically Evian spring water. All right. So you can bunk out Aquafina, you can bunk out Dasani because those are some of the worst waters you could ever have, also, and then go right to Evian if you want to improve your health for the future. Right?
I guess I'll show up. Anything in particular you guys want to see up close? I kind of pretty much said all I wanted to say. I've actually never had this. I'll just kind of pick and choose. I've never had the classic birdie. I only had the 2003 version. Apparently, I'm not sure where I heard this, but apparently they changed it to not have people because there was like a guy smoking the pipe in the back, and it was like
all because of that. When in reality, what they should have just done is just get rid of the pipe.
Get rid of the pipe,
keep the people, because the people were a cool part of that, in my opinion.
So yeah, and then I got these things for attached to VHS tapes. I'm trying to guess where these are from. This was definitely from the Thompsons' Friends Get Along with Duncan because he was for some reason in the box art.
My guess is this is from Cranky Bugs.
That's probably from Cranky Bugs.
Yeah, given the color.
We can kind of match the color with the DVD.
We could, yeah.
Yeah, you can grab the DVD off. Grab Spills and Chills as well because I think that's where this is from. The duck.
All right,
they should be right next to each other. Yeah, Spills and Chills, and then.
Actually, I might be wrong about this. No, it's not Cranky Bugs.
Try maybe a Big Day for Thomas.
I was gonna say, yeah, maybe it's that.
Yeah, I got all that.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be.
Does it have the same yellow text?
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. Bring it.
Yeah, good observation. Yeah.
This one I'm not sure about. Yeah, so just imagine these are VHS tapes.
Yeah.
I do have the VHS tapes. They're in the closet though. We'll probably pull those out a little bit later though.
Cool. And then here's the Big Day for Thomas. The blue is slightly different, but it's pretty close, I'd say.
Yeah. Actually, I can probably look it up on the wiki.
Yeah. You got the rare Christmas Wonderland.
Yeah. I got extremely lucky with that one too. That was
Jeez. Doesn't that go for like hundreds on eBay?
Yeah, I got it in a lot with there was a whole lot selling for like $30, and I was like, hey, can I just have these couple? Nice. And I got it for like $16.
Too shabby, man.
So and divided that by like 5, that's like $3 for that. Yeah, so it's insane. You gotta be extremely lucky with that. Because yeah. Okay. TTTE.
Just spreading the word on the stream a bit more so that more people can join.
Big Day Thomas. By all means, if y'all want me to pull up something, take a closer look at it.
Yeah. Apologies, folks. Just taking a brief intermission just to spread the word on the stream tonight.
Oh, maybe not. Because I see Trevor and Terence, Douglas, but no Milk Tanker. Maybe it was with Cranky Bugs. Maybe you're right. Cranky Bugs and other stories.
Yeah, man.
I don't see that either. What other one could it be? Maybe Best of Thomas. Wait, no, that one's slightly off. Maybe 10 years? God,
10
that's...
years? Yeah, sorry. I'm back.
No, you're good. Now I'm just trying to figure out.
Years. I think the big day for Thomas seems the most logical. But
I looked it up. I couldn't find one.
Let's look at 10 years of Thomas. Actually, it could be possible. Where is where is it again? The Milk Tanker.
Let's see. Thomas.
Yeah, the blue is slightly different again. It could just be sun fading too, honestly. Maybe it is Cranky Bugs.
Let me just look up like Thomas VHS Milk Tanker. It was What Day Out with Thomas.
10 years
or 10 years of Thomas. Yeah, look.
Okay, maybe it is that then after all. Wow.
Yeah, here you go. Look.
Okay, yeah.
So it came with that.
There you go.
So, and then I'm assuming the Duncan one came with the Thomas Kids. What the fuck is the name of that?
Yeah.
Can I see Tim Sheds? Yeah. Or the Roundhouse.
The Roundhouse, right there.
So yeah.
Classic.
I'll pull it up here. I've always wanted one of these. Never had one though.
Oh, is it glued? This piece? Is it glued on?
Is it? It's just like a really tight fit.
Oh, I see.
So it just kind of pulls up like that, which is pretty good.
That's good.
Now let me ask you this: do you prefer it with the 5-way switch or the turntable?
Me?
Yeah.
As a kid, I did it both ways. It just depended
on your mood.
Depend on the mood. But to be more TV accurate, I think I just paired it with the turntable, and then that 5-way switch, I would just make like a big yard with that.
Yeah, this is way better than the 2003 version because the sides are like
the window design.
Yeah.
And then what was it like?
We'll show up the box.
And then it was like in 2010 or something that they finally made it look like Tidbit Sheds.
Yeah, I think it was Tony who actually did that.
Gotcha.
This is the box.
Dude, classic box right there.
And this is the back.
Good old days, man. Good old days.
I kind of wish I had that turntable with the wood outline.
I know, dude. That was the OG.
This one's that's a classic right there.
Mm-hmm.
And something I never realized until like I had this stuff, but it actually says the name of what it is like all around the side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I never realized that. Yeah, and then I kind of want to see. I'm assuming that one was with Thomas. Thomas and her friends get along. I want to see it though.
The Duncan, oh, absolutely. No, there's no other option. That matches that perfectly. I'd be shocked if it was something else. Let me see. Could it be something else?
Yep, it was with Duncan, or it was a. Yep, found it.
Yeah, Percy Saves the Day spine.
It's very faded. Yeah, it's that one, and then the Racist Rescues and Runaways one.
Yeah.
And the Rusty to the Rescue is also pretty faded as well.
I got you. We had them out in the sun or something?
Yeah, they were they were in my grandparents' house, and they were like on a shelf facing the window.
Oh, okay.
Some of them got out better than others. Now for this the Thomas's Snowy Surprise one is actually also faded. So the text is supposed to be yellow, but it's white. But I actually think that looks a little bit better.
Oh, yeah.
Than the yellow text.
Yeah, I think the white works better too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like season 11 snow, right?
Yeah.
Foreshadowing. Unlucky Tug video.
He actually does bring that up.
Yeah.
in the video because I've seen the video. I haven't though. So yeah, that's the donkey that comes with it, and then I'm pretty sure that one.
Dude, I missed those days. Now, folks, you could probably remember, a lot of you watching the stream, you remember the days going to your local Target, your local Kmart, your local Walmart, and seeing the latest VHSs on the shelf. We just don't live in that era anymore, folks.
See, I was born in the era where they were starting to get rid of VHS, so I only saw the DVD.
Yeah, but even when it was DVDs, it was still a good experience. It ain't the same anymore, but you know. Let's see. Is this the one that came with the figure eight set?
Yes, I think so.
Gotcha. So you unboxed everything except the transfer table?
I took that out of the box real quick, but
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I can take it out of the box again.
Okay.
Just show you.
Just take a look at that. That's gonna be going with me, folks.
Yeah.
Once we negotiate a price. Oh my god. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's a piece of dirt on it.
Oh, good. Still operates well.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, actually. Yeah. It's a very overcomplicated Switch, but it's just cool. It's
a fun piece, yeah. Yeah, can I take a look?
Yeah, you can put an end on it. I just want to look up the price of it.
God, man, brings me back.
I'm gonna show the art as well. Okay, I was gonna show the art, but it's pretty scratched up. Yeah.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing this on this, dude, I feel like I just went 15 years back in time or something.
Yeah, I was watching a review by, I think, Eric PR53 with he did it with MPS.
Oh yeah, that's
apparently, yeah, this apparently was only on the market for 1 year. So.
Oh really? Not even in 2000? They only had it in 99?
Yes, I think so.
Really?
Pretty sure this is dated 1999. Can y'all hear me all right, by the way? I think I heard myself on screen, but just double check.
Yeah, folks. Make sure you can hear us.
Transfer table. TWR.
Oh, man. Folks, please, if you can, spread the word that we are live so more people join too. We can have a whole party tonight. Even though it's kind of last sec.
Yeah. I don't expect too many people, like as many as last time. I think we had like 13 people last time, which was pretty good. But it's Saturday. Yeah, you can. Okay, yeah, Cyberverse can hear us. Okay, so yeah, I mean it's Saturday night. People are out doing stuff, and also it's pretty late. So
cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long we're gonna go on for. We'll probably go as long until my dad tells me to shut up.
Yeah. For a good hour or two.
Is this new in box?
Yeah, folks, and this is also a Q&A stream as always. So if you
have any questions
with regards to any of this stuff, with regards to the model trains, or just any general questions pertaining Thomas, or even not pertaining Thomas, please post them in the chat.
Okay, yeah, prices are all over the place. Generally, it's like 75. So I'm seeing. Mm-hmm. We'll negotiate a price later, though. We won't do that on screen. We don't
negotiate a deal on the stream.
All right,
yeah, we got a deal.
Yeah.
All right. So, but yeah, dude, this transfer table, without a doubt, that's
pretty cool.
One of the pieces I just never had as a kid. I always wanted.
So something else I wanted to do is in my previous train room, I had a shelf where I displayed all my Thomas stuff. The layout has taken priority, so I have not had a chance to build a shelf displaying all my stuff, but I bought that just today. So I thought it would be kind of fun to organize it on stream. On stream. Excuse me, I can't talk today. So let's put this. Put it on the floor.
Have it point up.
I mean, it looks fine right there. Like you can see the whole stream. Yeah, if you want to come over here.
Sure.
I kind of want to get rid of these, honestly. Like we can use them, but oh, excuse me.
Wait, so you actually want to move all this stuff? You actually gonna move all this stuff, or we're just showing the stuff?
I was just gonna move it down here and then just kind of put whatever on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm thinking have like my Gordon collection. Speaking of Gordon collection, I scored this on eBay.
Nice.
So best of Gordon VHS with a Gordon.
Wow.
This is
and it's the learning curve version.
Yeah, this is the prime thing for my Gordon collection. Yeah, so yeah.
This water right here is mine, by the way, right?
Pretty sure. I don't care.
You know, just want to make sure it's not gross.
Okay. So originally, I think I had it. So I want this to be like the Gordon collection and like sort of the personal stuff up here. And then originally, I think I had it. It was Trackmaster Wooden Railway diecast. That might be a figure. I don't know. We'll play it out. But I want sort of. Yeah. We'll play it out. I might tilt it this way.
That's what I'm doing. Tilt it. Oh yeah, just to show all the models.
Yeah, we'll probably do it like that so we can see.
So we want just Gordon merch on here. That's what we're trying to do.
Probably just the Gordon collection up here. So
up there.
Well, actually, like, we'll probably start.
We'll start with Bachman Gordon.
We might, because he might go in the Gordon collection, but we'll keep him in there for now.
Okay. All right. Well, let's look at some of these. Do you want like the DVDs too? The Gordon DVDs?
No, because I have a spare Gordon DVD.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So.
Well, the Diapack Gordon is an obvious choice.
Yeah. I might take him out of the box because it might be easier to fit that way. Actually, that might look nice. But I want to kind of fit as many new box items as I want. So, let's just start with the inside shells because we'll probably move it back to the front.
Yeah.
As well. So do you think I should do the same Trackmaster wooden diecast?
Sounds good. I like that idea.
Okay. So
and that makes sense in terms of weight too. Trackmaster being the lightest, and Wooden Railway, and then diecast being the heaviest at the bottom.
That's a good idea, actually. Yeah. Here's my makeshift printed out lore book for the iOS.
Oh, is that this reading between the lines?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. When did you print this?
A couple years ago, just because I wanted to have the lore book on hand.
Yeah. Do you have the reading between the lines?
I do not. That one's a pretty interesting read though, because Audrey,
Chris Audrey signed it.
Chris Audrey had like a Q&A session at the end, and it's kind of neat to see his insights.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I have paint. I don't know why I have a Wii remote dildo in here.
Hey, you never know what you'll find.
So,
you got all sorts of stuff in that bin. You got Wooden Railway mixed in there.
Is this? Oh, you know what? I think when I took all the stuff off the shelves, I think I put it all in that. Here,
okay.
Put that over there, please, and thank you.
All right, time for Terencethetractor525 to look through Gordon Pacifico Force Tomy collection.
Yes. Take the belt. Sold Bob James. I put in new packaging. That's pretty nice. Right?
That's cool.
I'll put this down.
When'd you get this?
A couple years ago, off of eBay, I think. Just because my cousin had that. I really like the snow globe in it because that's Tim's station right there.
I know. Guys, cool. Remember when Thomas merch was amazing? Look at that.
Got that metallic person.
I mean, come on now.
This is Riddle Metallic Pumpkin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might be forced to just kind of. Last time I had it with the engine's with track, just sitting on the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think? I think that'll look nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of forget how it went. So we'll go in engine order. This box is pretty old. So. Yeah, I think is all my Trackmaster at the bottom. It is. I'm gonna tie my hair back.
Yeah, he's trying to become a sumo wrestler, as you can see.
Yes.
As far as his hairstyle.
It's like, God, I need a haircut so bad, but I want to wait until I.
Nah, you got to keep letting it grow. Keep it going.
I forgot. I have two D199s. I don't even know why.
Wooden Railway Ryan. God, interesting.
I like it.
It's an interesting model. It's lazy, and it's a Mattel piece. You can feel the plasticky quality of it. If that makes sense. Now take the Wooden Railway Stanley on the other hand. Now this is a learning curve, right? Yeah, this is definitely a learning curve. The difference in quality is night and day between learning curve and Mattel. I'm just gonna keep it all the way.
Yeah, there's your character. There's
No, I'm really. But no, seriously, I'm gonna keep it a buck with all you. Keep it a bean. Stanley Wooden Rally model by Learning Curve versus the Mattel Ryan. Stanley wins.
Yeah.
Stanley wins because it's Learning Curve and the quality was just at a different level at that time.
You want to read the chat out? I'm not sure if anybody's saying anything.
Let's take a look. I can see.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
All right. Let's see. We got Cyberverse Trades. We got Adam
If
the
you
Tank
wanna,
Engine.
If you want to pull it up, you can put it on the.
Yeah. I got you.
So you can just.
All right. Here's a few questions. All right. Do you prefer Bachman or Hornby Oliver? Hornby, without a doubt. When it comes to I'm sorry. When it comes to Oliver, yeah, I think Hornby Oliver is definitely what I prefer. The Bachman model did a great job recreating the CGI model, but
I forgot I had some of this stuff on. I didn't even think I didn't think I had
Falcon. Sir Handel.
Wait, Hornby or said Hornby or Bachman?
Oliver.
Hornby, Bachman, Oliver. Oh, definitely Hornby.
Hornby, yeah. No questions.
Granted, the Bachman Oliver, for what it is, it's like a perfect representation of the CGI Oliver.
Yeah, but the problem is we don't like
CGI Oliver is not good.
We don't like the CGI
so
Oliver.
I feel like it's for me. It's definitely the
Hornby.
Yeah.
Likewise. How old is Thomas?
So my headcanon is that he's not an E2, but an experimental prototype before the E2. So he would be, so that would be 1913. So he'd be over 110 years old at this point. So 111. Actually, that's kind of funny. It's 111 right now. He's 111 years old.
Wow. Now, out of curiosity, I just pulled this out. Is this the one that was motorized, the Kevin?
Yes.
That ran? That's
the Hit Toys.
That is cool. I gotta tell you, Hit, for what they did as far as the show is concerned, you gotta give them credit on the merch. They knew how to make great merch.
Yeah, I feel like 2000,
no doubt,
7 to 9 was like the peak of merch.
Absolutely.
For the Hit era, at least. Because I mean, obviously nothing's gonna beat the 90s stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, granted, some of it's better in some ways.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think, like, let's look at Hornby for a second. I know a lot of people are nostalgic for the 80s stuff and the 90s stuff, which, don't get me wrong, Hornby stuff from that time is great too. But I think they personally peaked between 05 and 08. Simply because the resin buildings were new. They came with a bang with Hornby, Oliver, and Stepney. Now, of course, you had some tragedies like Emily, which, most of us will probably know the story with that. But
what story?
Well, just the Hornby Emily. Hornby Emily being what it is.
Yeah, okay. I thought you said that like there was a reason for what it was. Or
No.
You're just saying, okay, it just sucks.
Just for what it just sucks.
Yeah, there we go.
That and Edward too. But with the exception of that, the resin buildings were incredible. The rolling stock too, like the circus wagons, which the Unlucky Tug recently acquired. I don't know if you saw that.
I did see that.
Yeah. I mean, those are fantastic. And now Bachman's finally taken on to that after how many years? So, here's hoping that it will continue on. Nice.
Yeah, I forgot I had the metallic rules.
Nice. Take a look.
We got Thomas, James, and then there's Henry, which I'm pretty chuffed with.
All right. Let's take a look. Plurel or Trackmaster? Oh, that's a hard one.
Ooh.
That's hard. It's
okay.
It's hit and miss for both.
Let's cut off at 2013. So because 2014 onward, I think that's pretty clear.
Yes.
Sure. I mean, I never had much play rail.
Yeah, let's go to the
play rail's more consistent. I will say. I love the fact that they gave them white running boards. That's hard because when they started to split off, so originally Tomy and Trackmaster were pretty much one and the same, but then they split off because to Hit Toy era.
Yeah.
And they did the brown track. I think I'm gonna say Trackmaster just because I like the look of the track a little bit more. Tomy, I understand why they stopped the blue track because it's Japan. They weren't allowed to be compatible. I feel like I like the looks of the characters that Trackmaster did over
Plurel.
Over Plurel. Do you say Plurel or Playrail?
Japanese says Plurel, but some people say Playrail in their country.
Like I look at, I prefer the way that Trackmaster did Stanley. I prefer the way some people disagree. I actually prefer the Trackmaster Connor and Caitlin over the Playrail ones, which.
Well, they're a little more accurate in terms of proportions. Yeah, I can kind of understand that. What's interesting, if we go back to like the Hit Toy Company, which was like 07, 08, 09, that era, like the end of the model era, Thomas into CGI, and even during the Hit era, I would say like, when did it start? Like 06, 07? the hit toy company?
06, yes.
06. Okay, from 06 to let's say like 09. Those years, hit toy company Trackmaster was peak. I'm sorry, but that it's hard for Plurell even to beat what that was because it was incredible. Some of the stuff that came out with, like the RC James and all that, the RC Thomas, which honestly I would say that RC James.
Do you want to maybe turn this way? So
yeah, I apologize.
You can like turn your body, maybe.
Turn like this or
like
actually, why don't put it down? Sorry. I was just trying to show my good
angle
angles.
Angle it towards it too, so it sees the shelf, so it sees the progress of it.
I was just trying to show my good angles. That's all. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's hard. It depends on the year. I think during the hit era, the hit toy company Trackmaster was peak. But overall, though, if we want to consider cumulatively everything, Plurell is probably superior than Trackmaster. You know? But dude, like Thomas at Tidmouth Sheds, you remember that set?
I have that set.
Oh, you have that set?
It's in the closet. Here, push that box aside. Push the Tupperware container over there. It's gonna be like you can't miss it.
I can't. That was a peak set. I remember seeing that on the shelf. And my parents, my folks were like, "Oh no, you can't get that because you're a wooden railway guy." And I was like, "Oh wow, okay."
She was the opposite with my grandparents. My grandparents, they wanted me to collect like solely Trackmasters.
Oh my god, bro! Look at this.
It's a mess in there, but like
you have the freaking cranky in here too. I didn't realize you had.
Yeah. That. But pull out the Tidmouth Shed set because I have that in the box.
Oh, is it still in the box? Everything's in the box.
It's right in front of you, dude.
Oh. Should we unbox this today?
I want to do something special with that. I've been holding that off. I've been holding this off for a while because I wanted to do like a special review of it, of me unboxing it. I don't think I want to do that right now, though.
Folks, this is peak. I'm sorry, folks. This was the peak of
Thomas. This is new in box. Not used in box, new, brand new, sealed.
Dude, I remember seeing this at Target. Oh my god, this is crazy. Yeah. Look at that, dude. The flip faces. You guys remember that? The flip faces.
And they have plans for more.
Oh, really? For the future?
Yeah, they were going to do a flip face Gordon.
Oh, you mean? I thought you meant like for the future, like.
Or flip face, yeah.
But let's be honest, who would want flip face CGI? Not many. Not many.
They kind of did that with the what was it, the crash and repair engines? Okay,
crash and repair engines. I don't even remember what that was. What was
that? So they had these little tab at the front of them, and they had like a rock that came with them. You put it on the tracks, and then they crashed, and then they'd like parts of them would like explode.
What?
They were like on hinges and stuff.
That was a Mattel thing, right?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was like 2015-ish.
Okay, yeah. At that time, I wasn't.
My biggest problem with the Mattel Trackmaster. Now, I don't hate the new Mattel Trackmaster. In fact, I actually really like the track design of that. That's like the one good thing about that set, or about that era. Mm-hmm. They introduced like a lot of gimmicky, like sort of gimmicks for their engines. They had like RC talking. Crash and repair, like steam and spark, all that stuff, and the engines that were always with that was Thomas and Percy. Like people don't have a million of those already.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're sitting down like this. But
No, you're good. This is fun. Got a Tommy Stepney in here.
Well, that's the Bachman Stepney, dude.
Oh God, if only. If only.
Shit's dusty.
All right, let's see what other questions we got here. All right. Flip face Percy Gordon were canceled. Yeah, that's right. They were unfortunately canceled. For Terence, Hornby or Bachman Matheway Station? Good question. I think it's hard to say. You see, I like the Hornby one because I like it comes with 3 separate parts. It's a little bit bigger. And I think in terms of the overall proportions and the overall paint scheme, it's more accurate to the show. However, the Bachman one, on the other hand, is more detailed. It has the posters. It's a little bit smaller, so it can fit in a little bit of a smaller amount of space. And the fencing is technically more accurate. But I think, personally, for a Matheway Station, I'm going to have to go with Hornby just because I think that look is a little bit more nostalgic for me. Because it was made in 05, whereas the Bachman was made in 14. That being said, I love the Bachman Matheway too. And, Christian has it right here. And for the future, I'll have to bring down my Hornby to compare and contrast, but I mean, again, folks, it's unfortunate that Bachman got rid of these because they are some of the really the nicest products, you know, and a lot of people just don't acknowledge their greatness. But it is what it is, I guess. But, yeah, a little intermission. I suppose we could take a look at the HO stuff once again. Percy. Let's see. When is episode 2 of Sword Art Between the Lines coming out?
Face towards me.
Yeah.
When I'm done with it.
So stop asking. Not joking.
No. So I did a community post on it if you want to check that out. But to reiterate what I said, I gotta finish the extension to the layout first before I even start doing that. The script is about like 70% complete.
70, folks, not 100. 70. So a little more time, you know.
What's it called? And then actually, what I can show, I will do this for y'all. Here is.
Oh, I just realized your Murdoch is faceless. What's the reason for that?
I bought it at a video game convention. It was
what?
Like there was a big box. They had this big box of like a bunch of Thomas trains. It was like $5 each, and it was like a bunch of like old trains. And there's a YouTuber who was there called Cat Icarus, and he did a review of a Thompson Tank Engine game for the PS1.
I see.
And I was gonna get him to sign an actual model, but I forgot it, so I just had him sign a faceless Tommy Murdoch. I was gonna put his face on it too. I was like, that was my
faceless Murdoch.
But here is my very bizarre take on old Shape Henry. So you
looks
see
good.
The faces are done by Thomas Fake Tank Merch. So
it's the Bachman Henry Tender.
Bachman Henry Tender with a Bachman B1.
B1. I think that works really nicely, actually.
Yeah. Paint job's a little inconsistent on both, and I hate doing water side lining because it doesn't look the best. I tried my best on this side, but I kind of fucked it up on the bottom. But yeah.
Yes. Wait, this is the Trackmaster Stanley, right? This one right here. Hit Toy Company.
2010, so that would have been Mattel.
Oh, okay.
That's like before they went to shit, though.
No, of course, yeah. In 2010, it was still decent.
Gordon, what's your favorite Gordon collectible / model? Have it up.
Out of here. God, man. Sorry.
Honestly, I want to say this because this is a pretty good collection. I also really like this Bandai Gordon just because it has a unique face.
Actually, can I take a look at that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, what was up with that, dude? Honestly, I don't know what the Japanese were thinking when they did that.
I have no idea. And I also really like the Diapack Gordon that Christian got me. He got me it from Japan.
Of course, happy to do it. It was the last one on the shelf too. So
nice, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah. Is Percy a prototype or originally a Peckett W4 and went for motor to order this added price? That's pretty much that's Audrey's explanation. I personally, I don't know, maybe. Because in Spirit, doesn't really matter what kind of class he is. He's just supposed to be a 04 slab thing. So yeah. Percy. Got Scruffy as well.
Post questions in the chat.
Is there anything we missed? No, I think we're good.
All right.
We'll go in order. So I guess that's all the space I have right there. There we go.
Sorry, just texting one more thing.
You're good. Forgot I had the Yumpsters cargo piece. Is Luke's class of engine real? Yes, he's based on Peter Pan. I believe, which I'm not sure the origin of that, but I know that's the one he's based off of. And for Terence, what's the favorite model from both Hornby and Bachman?
Did we talk about this last time?
Did we? I don't know.
I think we did. Anyways, it's all good. Favorite model. Okay, so I'm going to answer this in 2 ways.
I think we said Bachman, not Hornby, though.
Okay. I'm going to answer this in 2 ways. I'm going to answer just loco, and then I'm going to answer like product. Like as in, like it doesn't have to be an engine. It can be just any product from the Thomas line. All right. We'll start with Bachman. As far as loco, I still think Salty. Salty has to be my favorite. There's something very special about the original Salty model that I really love.
That and his face has like a lot of clarity to it. Like,
it does, yeah. I would say the original Salty without the tail lamp that's painted on in the back, or the CGI paint job, because bunk CGI. We're all about the model series here. At least I am. And let's see. As far as the overall product by Bachman, though, oh man, let me think about that for a second.
Or just like product in general?
Just product in general. And I think that it's actually not an engine. I feel like there's like an accessory that like really attracts me. But I'm trying to think of what it is.
For me, it's probably a model. I'd have to go with like
an engine. Yeah.
In terms of being the best, probably Ryan. I think I said that. In terms of being my favorite. I really like Edward. I've always had my eye on Edward. Edward and Duck. Those were like the two that I think everybody goes like really crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's fair.
For Hornby, probably Murdoch.
Oh, Murdoch. Yeah. That's easy. Murdoch is my favorite as well, as far as engines. As far as product, Hornby, I think my favorite Hornby product actually is Maithwaite Station. I know that sounds crazy, that I actually prefer a building over an engine, but that Maithwaite Station is so perfect to me. Mm-hmm. And it's just so nostalgic looking at it. It's my favorite product. All right?
First of all, hello, Thomas J. 219.
Yeah. My buddy right there.
Edward or Mavis or Salty for me. Yeah, those are good choices.
Yeah.
Mavis is pretty good too.
Mm-hmm. As far as overall Bachman product, though, maybe like the Bachman Scarlowi.
That's a good choice. I choose Peter Sam over Scarlowi, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Do I have the track? I don't think. We'll do it without the track just for consistency.
Yeah.
I might add the track a little later.
But the resin products, man.
Ooh, yeah, the resin products. I forgot about those.
Yeah, if only
I like the signal box. The name one.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, for the future, if Bachman could ever bring those back, man. No one talks about them.
Is there anything I want that's over there that I want to display? Probably the new box.
Let's see what else we got here. Def Murdoch, yeah, for sure. Do either of you own the Celebration Thomas by Bachman? I actually don't have that model.
I don't have that.
Do you have that? Yeah. Nope. It's kind of funny. A lot of people actually don't have that model. It's one of those models that people just kind of get at some point, but now it's pretty rare. So, do you plan to get that at some point?
You can buy it off the parts store. Like, you can buy it in parts.
Yeah.
If I had any interest in buying it, that's probably what I would do.
Yeah. Cyberverse asks, what's the best wooden rally set?
Pull up the comment on stream.
My bad.
What's the best wooden rally set? There's one that always caught my eye.
I'm gonna have to go with. Actually, no, forget that. No, that's not the best set.
I got a follow-up question to this, but let me think of the best set.
I was gonna say Boulder Mountain, but that's actually not the best set. It's just one of the coolest destinations. That's what I was gonna say.
That's a weird set.
It's a weird set, but it's a cool destination.
Yeah.
I think best set. Honestly, does it have to be a set that was sold, or could it be like one of those catalog sets that are at the back?
Let's go with what was sold.
What's sold? Okay.
The Day at the Work set.
Yeah, that's the best set.
It's up there. That's a pretty good set.
It's up there. Okay.
It's got a shed. It's got Goldie.
This is not my favorite set, but I think a really good set was actually the Let's Have a Race set with Thomas and Birdie.
Ooh, that is a good one. Actually, let's pull up the catalogs.
Because actually you have pamphlets too, right? That you came with that whole lot. What's really cool about that set is that it came with that Hilltop station, which was exclusive, first of all, and then you had Thomas and Birdie's tracks, or what do you call them? Their circuits.
Was that like 2002?
Yeah, 2002. Their circuits, and they were both about the same in length, yet they weren't exactly the same. Which was really neat.
Pick card. That might be the 98 one.
Yeah, let's see what we got here. Looking at old pamphlets, folks.
This one, I believe, is...
All right, best Win Railway set. Oh,
this
God,
one's the 2001.
Dude. Remember this? Remember the old... Folks, remember this? The old Come Out Henry pack and the old Thomas and Bertie's Great Race pack and the Lumberyard expansion pack. Bro, brings me back. Me back.
Ooh, one thing I do really want is the sawmill with the dumping depot. Just to get off topic.
You know, I got very fortunate with that. Did I ever tell you about that lot that I caught? Actually,
No,
Thomas J219, he knows about this. There was a 1999 display that was sold, you know, exclusively to stores, but trains.com had it for a really decent price. It came with the Flying Scotsman, the suspension bridge, the sawmill with dumping depot. What was it? I'm blanking out on other things, but a bunch of other rare products that were TWR related.
How much you get that for?
I think just like $225, $250.
Damn, all right.
And all this stuff was new in the box.
Yeah. Oh, new in the box.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a better.
And it came with a bunch of track. And there's other things that I'm forgetting that the lot came with. But
okay, yeah, just any of these sets. I've always really wanted the lift and load set. That's pretty good.
That's a great set. Yes.
So,
but I'm still trying to figure out what my favorite.
Yeah, the favorite's pretty hard. Now I'm looking.
Yeah.
The around the barrel loader set's pretty good.
Yeah.
The mountain tunnel set as well. The Silver Airfield set's actually pretty cool as well.
Yeah. You know, I know this is a like a later set, but the Storm on Sodor set, I hear that was actually a really cool set.
That's a pretty cool set, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of exclusive items.
Yeah. And it had like the T-switch, which was really never used.
Okay, now this was the question I wanted to pose earlier. So
yeah.
Do you prefer this version of the Roundhouse set or
the newer one?
The 2000s version?
Honestly, I know this might be a hot take, but I actually think I prefer the 2000s one.
I agree.
And I'll tell you why.
The layout of this does not make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And also, I didn't like the fact that the circuit doesn't go all the way around.
It doesn't have an all the way around. You can't have like one little circuit.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of annoying because it's like it goes into the middle, like the ascending, and the
only way
track,
to turn it. The only way to turn it is on the turntable.
Exactly. Yeah. And the ascending track also goes right onto the turntable. Now, this is me being paranoid, me being anal retentive, but I was the kind of guy. Actually, let me get this right now so I can explain very clearly what I'm saying. And I might need a piece of track.
Here, I got one.
Yeah. You have like a piece of ascending track and then a piece of straight track. If you don't, it's okay.
We have that.
Okay, all right. So
yeah, just go that.
So this is what I'm talking about, folks. All right. So pretend this is the original Roundhouse set, right? You got the turntable, right? So in the freaking set, you had the ascending track going right to the turntable like that. I mean, look at how awkward that looks. So when I used to build Win Railway sets, I was always very picky on how I sorted out my track, right? So this had to be at least a straight piece away or a curved piece away. I never, ever had an ascending track go right to the turntable in the same connection. It just never worked for me. I would have that, you know, that works, having it straight, but never, ever this. You can have this and then the ascending track. That works.
So I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see that, but another problem with this set. Okay, so now you can do like there's a small like little oval circuit on the bottom half, but it has to go through the turntable, and you can't go past the Sodor Bay bridges without going on the turntable and turning it physically. Yeah. And then look at where the work shed is. Like, why would they design it like that? So it has these two like convoluted sidings where you have to go through. They overcross each other. Yeah. And well, they don't cross each other, but there's like they go over an intersection, and then it goes to the shed, and the shed's like in a really weird place. Yeah.
And you know, another set I didn't really like, and this is like all the variants for this, was the circus set. The circus set with Duncan, as well as the Seasons on Sodor set, it was the same configuration. But the reason was, and I think MPS and LDNR Flying Scotsman made a video about this. Did you see that one?
I did not.
They were going over all the Win Railway sets. So they were talking about the sets, and the thing I don't like about it is once you go through that S one time, you can never go through it again unless you go backwards. I mean, just look at that.
I was never a fan of that sort of configuration.
So, I mean, it looks cool from afar, but when you're actually like playing with it, like if you're a kid running around with it, you get stuck. You can't go through the middle anymore. So as a kid, I would hate that, you know? So.
Despite the fact that it has the ugly battery-powered engines, the twist and turn action set.
That's a great set.
This set with the green Soda Bay Bridge, that's a pretty cool set.
Now I'm going to be honest with you. That battery powered James, the OG one, was actually one of my favorite Jameses.
Really?
Yeah. I know that's weird, but I think it's just because it's incredibly nostalgic for me. You know, a bunch of early YouTubers in who had TWR had that James. They used it for their old reenactments. And those of you who remember Jordan Shepes or Duck Oliver and Toad, these are like the OGs. And we're talking like 2006 OGs of YouTube, like the very first ones. They had remakes. And they used that James. And I remember as a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old boy looking at those remakes, just being completely mesmerized. And finally thinking to myself consistently rather, when can I acquire that James? You know, and to this day, that's another product I'm seeking to get, along with that transfer table over there. So
what is the best set?
The best set of all.
We got like so off topic.
Well, if we're talking magazines, I was going to say like the busy as can be set, because that's a pretty cool set. You know, I haven't even seen that one. You remember that set? That's such a popular set. The busy as can be set. That was the really crazy one. That was very detailed.
I'll look it up real quick.
You know, Barnes & Noble had it.
What's the pull up Adam the Tank Engine's comment? What would he say there?
Yeah, let's see what you got. Do you guys play with your Thomas mentioned that aren't model trains to feel nostalgia? I mostly ask because I feel like when Thomas fans get older, they do that to remember their childhood. Absolutely, yes. You hit the nail on the hammer. At least for me. Maybe he feels different.
I have not done it in a while.
Yeah.
In fact, I think the last time I did it was when I did that Trackmaster layout video, like in 2020. So that was a long time ago.
Right. I don't think he means make a set though. I think he means he just said like when he says play, like pull it out and like admire it, like what we're doing right now.
Yeah, because honestly, they're just at this point they're just dust collectors. Because I just adulting sucks.
Adulting sucks.
Don't become an adult. I gotta look at.
Or
you said busy
become an adult, but still have a little bit of childhood nostalgia in you.
Set TWR.
All right, let's see what else we got here.
You said the busy as can be set.
Busy as can be set. A lot of you, or some of you, might remember that set from like 06. I think that's when it came out.
But that's like one that you build with the. Is it this one?
Yep, that was the one. Yeah, or at least hold on, let me see it.
That's just one of the first I found. I don't think I.
That's like a modified version though, because I see like some very old pieces on that. Yeah. I see like they have like the OG lighthouse there. They got a.
That was like the catalog one, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, the busy bee James by Wooden Railway, probably the most accurate angry James face I've ever seen on any Thomas merch.
We're getting so off topic. I was supposed to be building the shelf, but
it's all good.
I'm probably not going to be finishing.
These streams are impromptu, right? We're just having a good time. Right?
Yeah.
But once we're done with the shelf, I think we should watch something and maybe react to it.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah, okay. I'll set up my new inbox stuff, and then I'll probably just organize it a little bit later.
Sounds good.
See, I'll set up the Gordon collection as well.
Alrighty, folks.
Here we go. Minis one, yep. There we go.
Me and the folks at the festival. God. You want to take a look at this, Christian? I know we're live right now.
After the stream.
Oh, after the stream. Okay.
Kind of want to keep the stream. Tom's focused.
Yeah, I gotcha. Sorry, getting sidetracked, folks. Like I said, I just finished it with a music festival, and I'm just recalibrating. What the heck was that?
That was a drill.
Okay, you freaking scared me there.
You might have to grab this off of me.
We're trying to get this one. First, let's get this off the ground. Bring you back to square one, folks.
Oh wait, no, I got it.
All right. Oh, dude, you got that.
We'll keep the camera over here.
Oh, over here? Okay, my bad.
If you need to, like, prop it up on, like, set it on that maybe.
Yeah.
Like, all my VHS tapes are in here. Okay.
Oh, nice.
So this is the Adventures of James set.
Classic too.
VHS tape. Here's a fold-out Great Water Station. I actually really like the Taken Place sets that fold out like this. They're pretty cool. The Adventures of Thomas set. And this is the early one where it's mixed match, so the Winter Wonderland of Thomas is supposed to be over here, and the Thomas Comes to Breakfast is over here. There's that.
Old tapes.
Here's my Thomas and the Magic Railroad signed by Mara Wilson.
Oh, you have this?
Oh yeah, bro. I got that on Amazon when it was still like available. It's a little beat up because I was taking it to school and stuff.
Dude.
Picture of the small row, yeah. You should take some look at some of the pictures in that.
Yeah.
Give me a sec. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, have you like read the whole book?
Yes, it's been a while, and I once again my reading comprehension is shit.
Oh, okay.
There's some in color stuff. And yeah. Then here's all the interesting pictures. You can go through that.
Yeah, you got the classic releases in here too.
Here's my Triggered Thomas mug.
Dude. You know, bro, I remember I had a friend. His name was Will Regensberger. He had all the Thomas videos. And this was a time when I was very young. I think I was maybe like 4 years old. And I didn't have all the Thomas videos. So I'd go to his house. He'd had all of them laid out. And I remember I would just start pulling them off the shelf. And then my mother would come downstairs. She'd be like, "What are you doing? That's not yours."
Here's something very interesting I found in the linen closet a while ago. This is when I was cleaning out, like in 2019. This was just sitting in my linen closet, and I had no idea of its existence.
Wait, what is that?
It's a Thomas fun kit. It's like a bunch of coloring pages and stuff.
Oh, nice.
But it's pretty interesting. It's got all that stuff. It's got like
Thomas and his friends help out.
It's got like Diesel 10 on it too, which is pretty cool.
Oh, you have two of these.
And on the back it has like, look at all that. It's just an advertisement for a bunch of stuff. Dude. Like, what the fuck was that? It was like this. Okay, whatever.
Something happened?
There was like, I'm like tripping because there was like a thought bubble appearing and then like a thumbs down symbol over my head when I pulled this up.
Are you serious?
I don't know if that happened on stream. That was weird as fuck.
You know, if any of you gave you a thumbs down, then screw you.
Yeah.
You can leave, you know?
Yeah. Find another stream.
Yeah, to troll.
60th anniversary Henry. The Thomas Comes to Breakfast set.
Oh, the Mike O'Donnell CD.
Yeah. I gotta get the rest of those. I think
bro.
I gotta get the rest of those. And then here's what is this?
Are they still available, these?
Yeah. Here's a lyric sheet for the That's What Friends Are For. I think that's a signature right there. I'm not sure if that's printed on or legit. But yeah, pretty cool. The box for the Midnight Gordon. Here's a Thomas Engine gift pack. Oh.
Oh.
Found the.
Oh,
This
Mr.
is when
Conductor fan.
I bought something off of Vinny.
Nice. You mean Nicky Dubitatis, whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah. It's Mike O'Donnell's actual signature right there. Oh, well, now I'm sad. I just pulled up an Entertainment Junction pamphlet. Because they're closing down next year.
What? Really?
Yeah. They're shutting down the entire operation.
I didn't know about this.
No, I guess not. That's... Bro,
sad. Why are they doing that?
I have no idea.
Such a massive lane.
I legit have no idea. Here's that thing. Yeah, I don't even know what to do with all this. My other shelf was a lot bigger.
Gotcha.
Well. Yeah, I'll just. And then I recently got this Ghostly Percy. This was the era of Trackmaster that I was entertained with. This is pretty cool. Okay. I'm not gonna be able to organize all this. And like not get distracted.
Ages 3 to 103.
Yeah, so we'll just put that. Look at that. And there's this too. Just kind of. Yeah, we're just kind of playing this by ear. Okay, Okay. I'm gonna clean all this up so we have a place to sit. We can then we'll go through all the comments we missed, and then we can watch Tug season 11 retrospective.
Sounds good.
Just
open that all down.
I just need a place to sit. So.
Oh yeah, I got this. Oh my goodness.
Let's just put all this.
Dude, you got the box.
You even have the application for like the savings bond in there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. There we go. Okay.
Okie dokie.
Let's answer some questions. Okay. All right. What was, in your opinion, the best year for Thomas Wooden Railway merchandise?
Good question. You can go first. It's a tough one.
Probably 1999 is
9?
probably a good year. I'm not as inversed as in the Thomas Wooden Railway.
I think for me, I'll have to split this into two eras. One for the 90s and then one for the early 2000s because it's kind of hard to choose overall for me. I think actually for me it's 98. 98 was the year that
those are the eras. I don't know what it was introduced
in 98. They came out with the dumping depot. They came out with the suspension bridge. They come out with
okay, so are we counting for just like the year and like what was announced, or like are we saying like in 1999 was better than 98 because you already had that stuff from 98?
I'm more so going through releases, like what was announced.
Okay.
Yeah. Like what year had like the best releases? I would say 98 was definitely one. I would also go with maybe 05 or 06, one of those years.
I would go with 06.
06.
I don't like the roadway stuff they introduced.
Yeah, well, that was like 02, 03.
Yeah, I think I'd go with 06 or 07, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, 07 was a good year. They came out with like Toby's windmill.
So one thing I always wanted was that clock tower with the little bridge. For some reason, that was always really appealing to me.
Yeah, that was only out for like a year or two, I think. Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that was 04, if I remember correctly, or 03 maybe. I remember when that was new, and I wanted that too, but for whatever reason, I never got it. I don't know. Man, I wanted that all, didn't I?
What, in your opinion, is the best Thomas diecast line? Excuse me, and set from said line? Okay, so are we going to spark some take along versus Ertl debate? So, okay, take along or Ertl. Both have strengths and weaknesses. I love So Ertl is a very nostalgic era because he kind of that was like I know Ertl was like the golden era because he had all the classic characters. It's pretty funny because it was like exclusively seasons 1 through 7 stuff. So there was no hit era. Hit eras where Take Along came in. They're great as collectibles. You know how like people collect cars and stuff. I don't think they're good as toys. So because the coupling system's weird.
The layout building possibilities were restricted.
Yeah, there's not really much layout stuff. It was more of a collectible line.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Now Take Along, I feel is better because one, I actually grew up with that. I didn't really have much Ertl.
Yeah.
But they were the sets were great. It was Take Along, so you had portability. I actually think it got better with Take and Play because all the parts were attached to the set, and you could just take the set wherever you wanted. It was pretty cool that you could do that. So I personally. I think I just ever so slightly prefer Take Along, just because of the nostalgia factor for me. Because I like the Quarry, what was it, the Quarry mindset. I had the Roundhouse one. The Down on the Dock set was great. Had a lot of weird track pieces though. What about you, Terence?
I'm kind of the same way, actually. I was going to say, as far as collectability, I think Ertl was the superior line just because there were so many options. And just the fact they even went into non-sentient vehicles like the taxi and the mail van and
like the Dyson low loader.
And the Dyson low loader. And those are products. Obviously, I'm kind of biased because those are things I use for my HO
that's
stuff,
what's fun about Ertl. They did everything. Man.
Yeah.
They did 3 of the Coldy Fell engines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I think, especially the non-sentient stuff always fascinated me just because it's so left field. They didn't have to do the soft side loader. They didn't have to do the Tom Tipper's mail van, but yet they did. And I think that says a lot about how they really went beyond.
It was a sticker change, but they did Falcon.
Right.
they didn't have to do that. They also did Jock. I still want an Ertl Jock.
Yeah. Look, they pushed the envelope in many ways, just through Jock, through the non-sentient vehicles, through all that. But the same goes for Bandai Tex. I would say in many ways they pushed the envelope in quality. But in terms of overall playability from a young kid's perspective, I agree that Take Along and Take and Play are probably the best lines. As far from a layout building perspective too, I think there was more you could do with them. They were more condensed. There were more destinations. Ertl was more. It's not that you were restricted, but it was
said best set. So I'm gonna look up the sets real quick.
Yeah, it's not that you were restricted with Ertl, but I just feel like it just the focus wasn't really on the sets. But it's a good question. That's how I would answer that. Let's see. What's the best wooden railway engine?
Well, before we get into that, let me say what sets. Oh, I can just look at all the sets.
My water over there. Look at that.
So the Soda Mining set. This one's probably up there for me. I had this one growing up. So yeah, it's a pretty cool layout too. Honestly, I might have to say this one. Okay, a list of all the sets. Let me just look at the Wikia. I think the dock set was pretty cool. I'm trying to think of one that I didn't have though that always caught my eye. I actually used to watch a lot of Leo Convideo's.
Oh, Mad Bomber.
Not just that, but when he also did toy reviews and stuff. He reviewed a lot of the take and play sets. A lot of those I thought were really cool. I actually really like the Roundhouse in that one. Yeah, we can move on from that. Unless you had a best.
No. I mean, I kind of answered the question.
Okay, what's the best wooden railway engine?
It's tough. Another good question. This is such a simple answer, and I know you guys are gonna think I'm crazy, but I love the wooden railway Neil. For some reason, it's so simple.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
It's so simple, but that's all you need, man. It's got that square design. It's got the open little cab. And I think, these figures, which we didn't open yet, but these actually fit in the Ertl, excuse me, not Ertl, the wooden railway Neil. Yeah, the legs are the perfect width.
That's cool, actually. Yeah.
And I've done that before. That's really neat.
So, of course, I'm inclined to say the Flying Scotsman, and he's up there. One that I really want, I might, honestly, after I got this lot, I might have to add him to my collection. I love the Soda Railway Repair.
The railway repair, yeah.
It's just because it's a really funky like sort of design, and like I like his face too. It has a lot of character. I gotta find one with like the actual like detachable hopper at the back.
Yeah, because a lot of them are missing that, at least on eBay.
I also like the Arthur's a good one. I like With a lot too, even though I never had them.
Yeah.
Frank is another good one. Frank and Mike.
Wilbert was a good one.
Ooh, Wilbert was good.
But I was sorry, as far as Wooden Railway, like a vehicle, actually, as a kid, I was obsessed with Rickety. I thought Rickety was so cool.
Rickety's a cool one, yeah.
You know, just rolling him down the track. And all the toy stores I ever went to didn't have Rickety because he was out of stock. He was discontinued. This was like 04, 05. And then finally, I acquired a Rickety, I think in like 08 or something.
Was it the teal one?
The teal one, because it came with the Henry and the Elephant DVD. That's how I finally got
it. Okay.
And I also got it through the Cookie Factory cargo pack.
The
Soda Cookie Factory cars, the 5-card pack in 08. Dude, when that got announced, I was like, oh my God, finally.
Do you remember transgalore.com, that channel? They reviewed all the new products. I used to watch those videos a lot. I've always, it's such a stupid destination, but I love the Suttery Swing Bridge.
It's not stupid. I think that's a very great destination.
It's cool. It's cool. It's stupid, but it's cool. Is what I'm trying to get.
I think
at.
it's a great
I like it a lot.
Like the stop signs swing up and all that.
The stop signs swing up.
Yeah.
But it's weird because then you have the Rumbling Bridge.
The Rumbling Bridge, which was kind of a
it was a rehash. It was kind of a weird gimmick, but like it's kind of weird that you gotta have to block off one side so that both can go through.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool.
It's cool.
It's like the transfer table, for instance. It's that you can use like a double crossover switch.
Yeah.
But it's not as cool. It's dumb. And then we'll answer this last one real quickly. Minecraft or Roblox? Minecraft. Yeah, so I guess we can get into... So Christian here has not seen the Unlucky Tug Season 11 retrospective, so we're probably going to watch that right now. So I guess share screen. Here we go. Let me just make sure this shows up on stream. Yeah, here we go. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so I'm just going to watch the chat and the...
This video was brought to you by my loyal patrons. Pledge today and receive exclusive perks. Link in the description.
Dear Christopher, here is your friend Thomas the Tank Engine. He wanted to come out of his station yard and see the world. These stories tell you how he did it.
Welcome back, folks. We are now within the bowels of the hit era of Thomas, and with one all-model season to go. Season 11 and the Great Discovery. The big final goodbye to the traditional all-model production of Thomas and Friends before the switch to CGI. Is Season 11 the grand send-off this 23-year run of the series deserves? Well, let's dive on in and find out.
RBC Cribs.
All the things you can do here, you can go to walk to the lake and sit at the koi pond.
YouTube ads are so abundant nowadays. It actually
for the engine roll call, etc. Like most seasons, Season 11 had 26 slated episodes. There were 6 narrow gauge focused ones that did not air with the other 20 originally. These were produced separately and were held off to be put onto home media through a special DVD in 2008, Engines and Escapades. A completely narrow gauge focused DVD, even featuring an exclusive song all about them. All 26 episodes were released together, however, on one DVD when the complete Series 11 was put out in 2010. Like Season 9 with Calling All Engines before, this season was shot alongside production of the movie The Great Discovery. Unlike Calling All Engines, though, The Great Discovery takes place after the season, and was meant to be a sort of grand celebrational finale bookend to Thomas's tenure as an all-model production. We'll talk more about this movie later. Now, season 11 is pretty notorious for its vast amount of reshoots that occurred during filming. Most of the reshoots have gone unreleased, though strangely, 5 episodes were aired on TV in 2007 with the original footage intact. These include Hide and Peep, Hector the Horrid, Dirty Work, Thomas and the Spaceship, and Don't Be Silly Billy. None of these original versions of the episodes were released officially on home media, and the only way to view them is through archived broadcast recordings. You might have noticed that Thomas's chuffing sounds are out of sync in this scene from Hector the Horrid.
Hector lay on his side looking very sad. Now Hector didn't seem so horrid.
That's because the sound effects were synced to the original footage that they shot in the first cut.
Hector lay on his side looking very sad. Now Hector didn't seem so horrid.
When they swapped the shot for the new one, it wasn't synced right. Some of the reshoots are completely different angles than the originals, such as this one from Thomas and the Spaceship, and this one from Don't Be Silly Billy. Some photos taken during the original shoot reveal some set differences between versions, and also reveal that some of the original shoots never made it to air. There's also plenty of scenes that are a mishmash of original and reshoot shots, such as this scene from Smoke and Mirrors. Note how Big Mickey's crane hook changes position and length between cuts. Season 11 was shot in 3 parts. The initial standard gauge shoot, which contained all the footage that was featured in the original airings of the episodes, the narrow gauge shoot for the 6 Engines and Escapades episodes, and all the scenes for the Great Discovery that featured the narrow gauge engines, and then all the standard gauge stuff for the Great Discovery. All the reshoots occurred during this third part, during the Great
You need to pause it and just talk about something real quick. Don't worry.
Discovery shoot, and the big tell is Thomas's lamp. Thomas's lamp lens on his brass prop is more clear in the original season 11 footage, and more muddy and gray in the Great Discovery and reshoot shots. Some sets were combined during these reshoots to speed up filming. This behind-the-scenes photo shows that Knapford Station and Callan Castle were built on the same set, and by using clever angles, hide each other from view of the camera. There is no official reason online confirming why so much was reshot later on, at least as far as I could find. Seems like a lot of wasted time and money for something that seemed just fine in the original versions. All of the reshot scenes appear to have no rhyme or reason to them and seem to be totally random. Some have speculated that every shot that they had to redo was shot on a standard definition camera originally, and they switched to an HD one partway through the season. Though frankly, I'm not convinced of that. Another theory is that the footage was reshot because the originals were filmed in 4:3, which I also don't believe, since Thomas has been consistently filmed in 16:9 since 2003. Fellow fans, Special Trees, helped me out greatly by providing a little more insight to all of these reshoots, and he has a great video on his channel showing all the differences between versions. So go check that out if you're interested in seeing all of what was changed. Link in the description.
When the sawdust settles and the engine roars, the thing you care about is a job well done. But when you...
Season 11 was originally going to be the final season narrated by series veterans Michael Angelos and Michael Brandon for the UK and US respectively. HIT wanted to bring in another A-list celebrity to narrate the series, starting with The Great Discovery. And their first choice was, you ready for this? Gwyneth Paltrow, of all people. This would have marked the first female narrator of the series in the English dub. I don't know why they wanted her, of all people. Was Paltrow in 2007 known for narrating or something? And I don't know what the thought process of having an American woman be the narrator of the British dub of the show was, but nonetheless, it never happened. Negotiations with her did not end with an agreement, so HIT sought out someone else. And who they found was Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan, James Bond himself, was signed aboard and was to take over the role of narrator starting with The Great Discovery, marking the first time both Britain and America had the same narrator since Ringo Starr back in the 80s. Pierce, with 5 children of his own, was very familiar with Thomas, and that he had read the books to his kids at bedtime.
I've spent many years narrating these stories to my own children, and I have 5 children. So I'm fairly versed in the character of Thomas.
When approached by Hit, he took the job happily. We'll talk more about Pierce later in the video, and more about his swift departure from the show next time, when we get to Season 12. Okay, so before we start, let's address the big, ugly yellow elephant in the room. Season 11, for some reason, has this ugly yellow tint across all of its footage, like someone in the editing room laid a yellow overlay across the files on the timeline. It's the most atrocious in the winter episodes, where the snow actually looks yellow and warm. Ugh, it's disgusting. What is this yellow tint from exactly? Is this just the color temperature of the new HD cameras? See, I thought that, but then Season 12, which uses the same cameras as far as I know, the colors are way more natural again. So I have no idea what happened. Let's just go ahead and color correct that yellow tint the best we can. There we go. Much better. Now that I can look at the season without feeling sick, let's talk visuals. Just like the rest of the Hit era, Season 11 is fairly mid-looking when it comes to the designs of most of its sets. The majority of the standard gauge mainline sets are just as dull as ever, with seemingly even more green overgrowth hiding everything. With every passing season, the island of Sodor looks more and more post-apocalyptic. However, I will note that those hilly backdrops that were so underused in the previous seasons appear to make a comeback this year. I spotted them multiple times on various sets, and they help so much in giving these locations implied distance. I'll also say I see more of an effort when it came to the narrow gauge stuff this year. The mountain sets in particular are quite impressive. There's a nice feeling of depth and height with some of these, especially on those hilly road sets that they have Madge travel on. Once again, those mountain backdrops to imply distance do so much in making it feel like we're really high up somewhere. The colors and lighting in general look better than before. The shadows are quite a bit more contrasty than we've come to see in the previous Hit seasons, and the characters' faces have a little more definition shown. The lighting isn't as soft as it usually is, and I think that makes all the difference in helping make these visuals look more convincing. Season 11, after the yellow tint is removed anyway, is probably the best looking of the Hit seasons, in my opinion. Several secondary characters get time in the spotlight again. No lead roles or anything, but there seems to have been a push to expand the cast more. Cranky the Crane, for instance, gets a big role in the season's opener, as do Donald and Douglas in the following episode. Spencer, Elizabeth, Arthur, Salty, Bill, and Ben all show up in multiple episodes. Even Alicia Botti returns. That's pretty cool. The episode Thomas Sets Sail is kind of neat, for the majority of its supporting cast is all made up of female characters. The characters that Thomas passes include Emily, Elizabeth, Rosie, and Molly. Pretty cool, and I wonder how intentional that was. This is very much a season that's front-loaded with its strongest episodes, and then it all kind of turns to shit as it goes on. By the time I got to episode 14 or so, I knew there was nothing else to really look forward to. I looked at that episode list, and I groaned.
Perhaps you know me as the Kung Fu Panda!
The really good episodes the season is known for.
I didn't watch it. I heard it was garbage, though.
Oh, okay.
You know, like Cool Truckings, Gordon and the Engineer, Emily's Rubbish, etc.
Probably past the Great Discovery portion. We'll probably cut off. We can watch the rest later.
Are all
We're not really talking much for
after like episode 8. I don't really know. It's all downhill, and the season becomes as formulaic as ever. The amount of episodes this year that deal with an engine putting off a job or forgetting to do their job because something else is more interesting to them are so numerous that it's actually ridiculous. We have an episode where Duncan is given a job to do, but puts it off to do other jobs that are more exciting. And then directly after that one, we have an episode where Percy is given a job to do, but he puts it off to do other jobs that are more exciting. My God, they didn't even try to hide the fact these are both virtually the same plot, and they're right next to each other. Come on! No one remembers these seasons fondly, and this is clearly why. They are just so routine. And speaking of which, I am so sick of the Thomas is sent to do something and he messes it up plots. That is nearly every episode of his this year. You want to know how many exactly? 7. 7 of these cookie cutter plots. Thomas.
Yeah, so I've told you before that I have not seen much of. There's episodes in season 10 and 11 that I have not seen. I've seen more of 10, but I'm looking at the episode list here. I have not seen Thomas in the Spaceship. I might have seen Thomas in the Storyteller. I'm not sure. Thomas in the Lighthouse, I definitely haven't seen. Smoke and Mirrors, definitely have not seen. I don't think I've seen Toby's Triumph. Thomas in the Big Bang rings no bells.
Thomas in the Big Bang,
Big Bang. Thomas in the Big Bang Theory. Thomas in Trouble. Percy and the Left Luggage. That one's not ringing any bells. So yeah. So part of the reason that why I never saw much of season 11 because it wasn't on DVD. You'd only see it through PBS. And I've only seen some of these episodes just because I've seen them on PBS, but the memory of them was very vivid. So I went back because I knew what the episode names were and I looked them up online. Or just of word of mouth. Like I heard Dirty Work was good and Gordon the Mechanic. So I watched those and those are pretty good episodes.
Thomas Sets Sail, Thomas and the Lighthouse, Smoke and Mirrors, Thomas and the Runaway Car, Thomas and the Big Bang, Thomas in Trouble, and Thomas and the Stinky Cheese. Thomas and the Lighthouse is probably the worst of the bunch, as it's just the same thing over and over again. Yeah. Thomas passes 5 different characters doing a job more exciting than him, and each time he gets more distracted until he hits a thing and breaks his load. Gee, didn't see that coming. Enough with the plots, though. Let's talk about some other oddities. Engines are still running light engine constantly and stop in the middle of nowhere. This has not improved from season 10. In fact, I'd say it's gotten worse. Time after time again, engines come across others that are just stopped in the middle of nowhere by themselves with no trains. The weirdest is probably Molly's appearance in Thomas Sets Sail. She's just stopped in the middle of the main line. Why is she there? They couldn't have placed a water tower or a signal or something to make some sense of it? Or given her some trucks to pull? Anything? No one cared?
Yeah.
Really? Something else I noticed that kept recurring this year is the way the crash...
I mean, not really. I'm going to be honest. No. I didn't really care for Molly.
No? Well, I loved Molly.
Molly, I mean, she's a cool prop, I guess. But, like...
I mean, I liked her passive insecure aura that she portrayed in her debut episode in season 9, and I do think that they.
But it's like kind of like what do you do with her after that episode?
Well, maybe have like a prequel or a sequel to, you know, when I remember in the episode, I think it was Emily made fun of her. Emily laughed at her because of her with the empty trucks, and then have like an episode between her and Emily. I think that would have been really interesting. You know, some kind of rivalry between the two of them. It could have even been like a 2-parter. There's a lot of exploration that could have been done there in terms of plots.
Train Man number 1 says hello. Do you like season 12? We'll get into that. Trust me, but we're gonna watch this.
Crashes are filmed. Okay. Have you all noticed how almost all the crashes this season are filmed from behind or are far away from the camera?
Let's take a water break.
Take a water break, folks. Apologies. Or in the meantime, let me take a look at the chat while I get water.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, folks. If I seem drowsy, folks, today, it's because I've been on the road for 7 hours. Yeah. So I apologize.
Yeah, we can hold that. Let me play this ad. So yeah, just fill that. If you want to just fill that up with the purified water in the fridge. If you want to do that, yeah. Okay, I'll entertain this. Where's my any questions for me in the meantime? We'll do this for right now. So sorry, yeah, we weren't really talking that much. I thought it would be a good idea to watch it because Terence hadn't seen it, but we weren't really talking much. Now I kind of feel bad because we're just watching the whole video. Yeah. I am enjoying the stream though, so if you guys have any questions, just let me know. And I am reading the chat. I have it up on my phone. Sorry I missed your question earlier, Adam the Tank Engine. Have you guys heard of NASCAR? I've only been to one NASCAR race in Richmond. It was pretty cool. I'm not a big car person. So yeah. Yeah, I think we kind of lost all our viewership. What's your favorite Thomas season? 5. No question for me. I love season 5 just because the only real problem with it is just it doesn't focus a lot on secondary characters. Like it doesn't have Donald Douglas or Daisy or Duck a lot of the time. But even then, that was like the only there's a little thing, but that's like the only flaw with it, in my opinion. But we got just a lot of really good episodes of that. I think that's when they were trying to break out with their sort of cinematic Thomas experience. Let me get my seltzer. I like seltzer water. All right, you good?
I'm good. I'm back. Apologies, folks. Once again, for those of you who have tuned in late, this stream is sponsored by Evian Spring Water.
I'm going to be honest, I was not a fan of it.
Oh, no, you don't like the Evian water?
I mean, it's water, but
it's water. It's pH of 7.2. All right, which is good. Check the ingredients. Bottled in France.
Maybe because it's not that cold. Maybe I'd like it better if it was like on ice or something. But yeah, we'll get back to the video.
Through a snowbank, little Biff did. They crashed.
Crap.
To make some sense of it,
here we go.
We're giving her some trucks to pull. Anything? No one cared, really. Something else I noticed that kept recurring this year is the way the crashes are filmed. Have you all noticed how almost all the crashes this season are filmed from behind or are far away from the camera?
And he biffed right into his lucky trucks. He bashed into the barrier. They crashed through a snowbank. Little biffed his trucks in surprise.
It's weird, right?
Yeah,
it's not every single one or anything, but it happened enough times to seem like a pattern. If I had to guess, this was probably intentional to lessen how violent they are. Now, I know I'm going to come off as nitpicking here, but there is quite a big lack of new score this season. I was trying to listen for new themes as I watched, and I think nearly every piece of music this season is reused from a previous season. Madge's theme is the main theme from Toby's New Shed.
Madge is a snub-nosed lorry. She drives around the mountains and valleys, delivering goods to the villagers.
This sad theme in Spaceship is pulled from Calling All Engines.
The Fat Controller will be cross, sighed Thomas. I've spent all night looking for Percy's spaceship, and the airport is only half finished, wheezed Thomas.
The theme used for Sir Handel is Fergus's from all the way back in season 7.
Sir Handel is one of the oldest engines in the hills of Sodor.
One day he was on his way to the quarry. He had a special job to do for Sir Topham Hatt. Hello, whistled Thomas.
I don't even really like the hit era, and I could place all of this. Hector's theme is all new, and there's obvious... But is that it? There's a few times where the reused music doesn't line up with what's happening on screen. Like here, in Smoke and Mirrors, they use that Thomas Going Fast theme, which I think was pulled straight from Sticky Toffee Thomas from last year. In that episode, when Thomas is going through the overgrown track, there's this funny trombone cue that plays when it cuts to how ridiculous he looks.
But Thomas puffed carefully on. He knew he was late. So now he wasn't thinking about fancy dress. He was only thinking about getting to the party on time.
Then the theme gets reused here.
We, the people of the United States. We've moved so far away from the Constitution that in many
And when that funny little cue shows up, it doesn't correspond with anything.
Next, Thomas chuffed to Maron Station. Red carpet, he puffed to himself.
It just kind of feels out of place. I'm not trying to say reusing music from previous seasons is a bad thing. It's not a new thing by any means. But usually when a theme gets reused, it is retooled slightly to align with beats in the story. There's usually a variety of all new stuff too to expand the library and give each season its own unique feel. Not really the case this year. The score feels very thrown together this year in a way that it never has in previous seasons. And I wonder if the reason for that is because all of Ed Welch and Robert Hartshorn's efforts were going into the Great Discovery at the time. It might also explain why season 11 shockingly had only one new music video produced for it. Perhaps all the real work was going into the movie instead. Regarding the narrators, I don't have much to say. Michael Angelis is fine. Sounds really no different than he has in the last few seasons. He kept doing that gruff kind of voice for so many characters, though, and it kind of started getting to me after a while.
We can pull a heavy train. We're very strong. Maybe you're right. Maybe I do have lucky trucks, he puffed. I'm a new truck, and I'm scared because I haven't been filled with coal before.
I do appreciate the accents that he gave to some of the characters, specifically Billy.
Thomas, you're not a bossy boiler. You're a really useful engine, and I really enjoyed working with you.
Now, Michael Brandon, maybe I'm just getting used to him from this rewatch, but I don't think he was terrible or anything this year. He was fine. He still does all the annoying nasally voices for Skarloey and the bunch. And, oh, come on, man. What is that Henry voice?
Now I will always be on time, puffed Henry. And that means I can be a really useful engine.
Guess Henry's been hanging out with Oliver, His roar for Hector trumps Angelis's, though.
Keep away, he roared.
Keep away!
He bellowed. And I just love how silly his delivery is.
Actually, I have an idea. I'll work on the shelf over here, organize us, and you can keep watching this.
Here.
Thomas got ready with his whistle. The little engines got ready too.
All right, folks.
It's just so silly. How can you not love that? Now, it would not be a retrospective of a hit season without my arbitrary list of random observations. What's going on with Thomas's eyes in Dream On here? These appear to be digitally edited. I wonder why. Emily isn't coupled to her coaches here. They use nearly identical shots of Cranky in 2 different episodes, here in Hide and Peep, and here in Thomas Set Sail. They also use weirdly similar shots of Thomas at the ship dock in 2 different episodes, here when he's talking to the storyteller, and here in Smoke and Mirrors when he's talking to Topham. They use the Gauge 3 Thomas for this shot of his bunker being loaded. Note how much closer to the chute he is than in the previous shot. And they also call it a coal box for some reason.
Black, dusty coal poured into Thomas's coal box.
The storyteller is edited into these shots of her poking out of Thomas's cab. Again, once you notice it, you can't unnotice it. I like that they use Butch to launch the sailboat. That's kind of clever. This farmer has an unrepainted head from season 4. You can tell because his pupils aren't scary huge like everyone else's. Skarloey and Rheneas are literally wearing the same face in this scene. Like the crew members took it off Rheneas and then put it on Skarloey for his shots. Did they not realize that they were different characters? What was the thought process here? The lighthouse keeper is Cyril. That's kind of cool. Looks like he directs both engines and ships in heavy fog. They used the original Perspex Henry body connected to the new brass tender in this episode, and the difference in their color is so blatant here. The tender looks neon compared to him.
And later, when the refreshments lady laid out a very special tea...
Oh, that's neat. The refreshment lady appeared and got mentioned. I like how Freddy tries to leave the wharf before anyone can see him, but, like, Mac can. He's looking right at him. Thomas's flatbed disappears between shots here. Watch.
Thomas bumped into Bert, the stinky cheese shot into the air, and splattered down.
Where'd the flatbed go? They used the same shot twice here. Look.
But he knew he had to carry on. Must get to the docks, must get to the docks, he chuffed. Even though his friends could smell the stinky cheese.
Wow, did they really not have another clip to use here? There is not one, not two, not three, but 5 instances of characters getting covered in mud this year. Ew, it's in his eyes! This happened a bit too often that it's a little sus. Someone on the crew have a mud fetish or something?
You are also to collect the Dowager Hatch luggage from Maythwaite Station.
Why does Topham call his own mom the Dowager? That's so weird. This show is so robotic sometimes.
Nice.
Talk about an abrupt change in quality. After the drawn-out, repetitive, dull experience of Season 11, watching The Great Discovery right after gave me an immediate boost of serotonin. This will be one of the rare times in the Retrospective series where we cover the special after the season's overview. For this is, I think, the only time the connected special takes place after the season. Usually the special kicks off the season, but not this time, for The Great Discovery is Model Thomas's Endgame. This movie revolves around Thomas getting lost and stumbling across an abandoned town in the mountains called Great Waterton. Upon its rediscovery, Sir Topham Hatt wants it rebuilt and puts Thomas in charge of the job. Thomas takes great pride in his new position, but grows jealous of a new engine called Stanley, who arrives to cover his usual work. Stanley becomes popular with the others.
Let's put this old phone back in service with the new Generate Background feature in Photoshop. First, we'll remove the background, then click Generate Background.
And Thomas becomes insecure about being pushed aside. He decides to knock Stanley down a peg by giving him too many trucks one day. However, this backfires when the trucks break away and demolish the tower in Great Waterton. This severely delays reconstruction and turns everyone's opinions of Thomas south once the truth comes out. Thomas tries to make it up to everyone by working late hours, and this leads to him getting stuck in a mine and having a terrible tumble. With Thomas missing, all work stops as the search begins. Stanley is the one who finds Thomas and rescues him. The two make amends and help each other. With everyone safe again, reconstruction resumes, and Great Waterton is restored in time for Sodor Day. The movie's original title, Leader of the Track, remains in the form of the final line said by Thomas at the very end of the movie.
He had wanted to be the leader of the track, but we're all leaders of the track, puffed Thomas proudly, and he couldn't have been happier.
This movie was made to celebrate and mark the end of the series being an all-model production in a grand way, because for season 12 onwards, elements of CGI would be brought in to animate the engine's faces and people. As a sort of last hurrah, so many characters from across the series were dug out and given some time in the spotlight. All the narrow gauge engines appear here, several of the secondary characters, even Diesel Tang gets a quick blink and you'll miss it cameo in the back. They saw this as an opportunity to dig out the pack characters again, and they were worked into the story to help out with the reconstruction of the town. I think this notion to kind of bring back all the characters was also worked into season 11 to some degree, considering all of the secondaries that we saw get focus. I love that this movie used the opportunity to give us a little lore about the island of Sodor's beginnings, filling us in on what life was like back then.
When steam engines first came to Sodor, this was the main town. It was called Great Waterton. The waterworks here provided water for everyone.
Pierce Brosnan, as narrator, is such a breath of fresh air from the two Michaels. While he's not my favorite narrator or anything, I do think his narration style works perfectly for this era of the show. I really appreciate his attempt at all the different voices and accents for the characters.
Mr. Percival says that because you mainline engines don't know the tracks in the hills. Restoration. That is when you make something very old look new again. No one knows where he is, whistled Emily.
I particularly love that smug, posh type of voice that he gives James.
I've just met the new engine. He's called Stanley. He's very friendly. Everyone likes him.
There's a sort of quietness to Pierce's narration, almost like he's speaking softly, reading it as a bedtime story to a child.
Thomas felt terrible. He knew why he'd done it, but he couldn't tell the Fat Controller and the other engines. He felt too ashamed, so he said nothing.
He says as much in his interview.
I sit in this booth, and I have the story in front of me, and I basically tell the story, as if I was talking to my own son or daughter, who's 4 or 5. And you try to have as much of an intimate relationship with your voice and the person or the people, the children, the parents who are listening to you.
And it worked perfectly, especially in this era of the show where the stories were more tailored to younger kids than before.
And Neville is what? Is he?
He is in many regards similar to Thomas. He's new to Sodor.
In the behind-the-scenes interview with him, you see him asking about what type of personality each character has, so he knows how to deliver a voice for them. Even for nothing characters like Neville, he took care and showed a genuine respect for the series and its characters. We respect both of the Michaels for their long work on the show, of course, but you can tell in their inconsistent performances during these later years that they were really starting to not really care as time went on.
And that means I can be a really useful engine.
And that means I can be a really useful engine.
While the initial reception to Pierce from general audiences was a bit mixed, I personally think he was the perfect change-up that the show needed at this time. The set design here is also notably impressive, a real step up from what we usually see in the hit era. The overgrown abandoned town looks great, all the mountainy locations are so grand looking, and the whole mine scene in general is really well done. So much work went into these stunt sets that only appear on screen for a couple seconds each. Compared to the humdrum Season 11, it's clear to see where everyone's efforts truly went this year. Just like in Calling All Engines before, the songs in this movie are all severely catchy. Jobs Aplenty lives rent-free in my head daily. Unlike Calling All Engines, most of the songs actually have a point this time. They're not simply just recaps of what we just saw and interrupt the flow of the story. They are more organically worked into the story. Jobs Aplenty is used as a montage to show the reconstruction of Great Waterton, and Where is Thomas is a montage showing the grand search for Thomas. Musical numbers are an efficient way to show the passage of time quickly, used to great effect here. The only exception is Thomas and James are racing, which does not have a point at all, considering the race really meant nothing in the grand scheme of the story. Still pretty catchy though. The grand finale song, Thomas You're the Leader, is a first for the series, transitioning into a new era of rock and rap styled songs with a lead singer. The first song to not feature a child chorus, and is sung by Chris Maiden. While I think it gets a little repetitive towards the end, I think it totally works as a swan song for the model era of the show. A grand musical goodbye to this era. And speaking of which, I also want to quickly note how much I appreciate the movie isn't bogged down in learning segments sprinkled throughout, like Calling All Engines was. They did indeed produce some for it, but they had the restraint to make them simply bonus features on the DVD, so to not interrupt the story for them. I'm very happy that they did that. All of this stuff is great, but what I think I love about The Great Discovery the most is the fact it's completely a Thomas story. Magic Railroad pushed Thomas and the engines aside in favor of a human-driven plot, and Calling All Engines was an ensemble cast. The Great Discovery, though, is a far more grounded, personal story about Thomas and his struggles with his own ego. We're so used to the oblivious, childlike, naive, frankly stupid side of Thomas that gets run into the ground in the hit era episodes. But here is a story that deals with an internal struggle. Thomas's discovery of the town and being put in charge of the work gives him a big head. He clearly wants to do a good job and make Topham proud. All of that unravels though when Stanley arrives and proves to be popular with the others while doing Thomas's usual work. Thomas feels threatened by Stanley's presence, and this is what pushes him to play a trick on him, and that all results in the others shunning him. The tragedy of it all is that Thomas brought it all onto himself. It wasn't like there was a misunderstanding or something and he has to clear his name. No, he actually pretty much deserved what he got here. pride and ego are Thomas's fundamental flaw here, and I think this is what makes the story work so well. This is such a far cry from the usual Thomas doesn't deliver the thing because he was distracted or whatever types of stories that we're so used to with him. No, this movie is about Thomas dealing with pride, envy, vulnerability, reputational damage, obsolescence, humility, and acceptance. It's a fun little character study of our show's main character, and the whole movie is properly structured around this single arc. There are no B-plots or cuts to other characters doing things. Our undivided attention, for the most part, never deters from Thomas. The movie is very focused as a result, and tells a clear, conclusive story. As much as I like The Great Discovery, it isn't perfect, and isn't without flaw. It drags quite a bit during the middle. They set up Duncan early on, and his trick on Thomas is what kicks off the plot, but he weirdly never comes back into the story at all, and we basically just forget about him. Some sort of payoff with him later on would have been nice. And while it's a pretty fun scene, I don't really get why Thomas's big crash in the mine had to be so over the top.
I agree with that.
Like, really, what purpose did him falling off a cliff onto a raft and then floating down a flooded mine really serve? The passage of time implies he was on that raft for several days. It's nighttime when he enters the mine, and midday when he finally exits it. How long is this river? Couldn't he have just crashed through the mine blockage, out onto the mountainside, and tumbled down it? And then he sits at the bottom in that field for several days until he's found? Was the whole water part really necessary? All in all, though, The Great Discovery is a pretty damn good Thomas movie. It hits all the right marks for me, and it's a wonderful send-off to Model Thomas.
Stop here.
Discover boating and progress.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, so before we move on with the stream, I guess let's talk about our opinions on season 11 as a whole. I don't really care for it. I'm gonna be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's better than 10?
It's about the same, I think.
About the same for me too. I think season 11 is a little bit more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the episodes that are like actually good in season 10 are better than the ones in 11.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean 11 is more consistent, but it's got some gems. It's got Gordon and the mechanic, or Gordon and the engineer. It's got Dirty Work, which I think is a good one. Hector the Horrid. Cool.
That's a good one.
Cool Truckings.
Those are really the only 4 for me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I was gonna say all of those.
I mean, I like Emily's Rubbish, the one with.
Oh, that one's a good one too. Okay, so that's 5.
Oh, let's see. I have to think. My brain is fried, folks. I'm sorry.
Those are the only 5 I could really.
Yeah. I mean, those are probably the main 5. You know, mostly the Thomas-centric ones, apart from wasn't there a Thomas-centric episode that was decent? Oh, Hector the Horrid, not including Hector the Horrid. All the Thomas-centric episodes I just don't really care for, but I think it's definitely not gotten like horrible. Now, as we get into season 12, that might be a different story. We just want to watch an episode of that, and then maybe we'll call it a night after that.
Yeah, we can. Let's a couple things. I want to actually show you guys the shelf I've been working on. So this is what I've been doing in my time.
And if you don't mind, I'm just going to put this on the floor. If that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead. You're gonna have to do that anyway.
All right.
Yeah, this is where all merchandise is going. It's still a little disorganized. I might switch some things around here and there, but overall, I'm happy with that sort of setup. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Good stuff, folks.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll watch an episode of 12.
And yeah, we can watch an
Let's
episode.
watch the best episode of season 12, which in my opinion is Gordon Takes a Shortcut.
I was gonna say Evo Thomas. It's not the best episode, but I feel like that's the. I've been kind of dying to watch that episode. I'm not gonna lie.
Why don't we watch both of them?
Watch both of them? Okay.
Yeah. I think that Gordon Takes a Shortcut is a good one.
Yeah. Okay. And then after that, we could probably, Terence is kind of dead right now.
Hello, folks. I'm laying down.
Okay.
I'm like half asleep.
Okay, let's see if I can find Evo Thomas. All right. So let me just give some background. So last stream I said
Evo Thomas is the most amazing episode ever.
Absolutely. It's actually not that great of an episode. That's just the episode of season 12 I most remember because that was on I think I had Railway Friends from the library, but I remember owning Team Up with Thomas first. So this is the episode that kind of rings in my head. I don't think it's a good episode, but I feel like there's a lot to talk about in that one. But yeah, I guess let's just watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me pull this up on stream actually. See. All right. Evo Thomas, and hopefully the stream does not get copyrighted. But this is up on YouTube, so hopefully we should be all right. It's a part 1, part 2 sort of thing. So
right.
Yeah. So I'll just say something I do like about season 12 is I like that all the humans are CGI. Like this feels a lot more realistic. You see people at the platform and stuff.
Hold up. You like the CGI humans more than the props?
It feels more realistic, you know. The set has more life that way, you know. Is it done very well in the season? No.
You gotta be kidding.
But
you actually prefer the CGI humans in season 12 over the props.
I mean, I wouldn't say I prefer them. I like the direction they were going with that. Dude. Okay, he's
engines and to children along the way. Even when Thomas is pulling heavy loads.
This set.
Yeah, dude, that's it. There's no back, there's no hills. Like what's
no backdrop. It feels very dead. It feels like
goes all the way
this
down
feels
to
like
the ground.
This feels like some like backlot in like Kansas, like just some random young yard.
One morning, Thomas puffed into Brendam Docks. Sir Topham Hatt was waiting. You are all here to welcome the new engine. His name is Hank. I've heard he's very special. I've heard he's very strong.
Okay.
Hank puffed into the dock.
Very weird pauses where they're supposed to be said Thomas or said Percy or whatever.
Yeah.
But
it's a Brosnan, right?
Yeah. Because I think
Hank
filmed. They record their lines after Brosnan had already done the narration. But yeah, here's Hank.
Was very special. He had red wheels and a bright red cow catcher. And he was very tall.
Okay, so something I find very weird is that with Stanley and Hank, why do they have silver smoke boxes? That is nothing I've seen on like any like steam locomotive ever.
Yeah, just contrast probably.
Engines have never seen an engine like Hank
red, white,
before.
blue, America.
Hank looks as strong as a giant. I'm sure he isn't stronger than a Sodor engine. Now, Thomas, I have 3 jobs for you. First, you must take new machines from the docks to the factory. Then you are to pick up stone from the quarry and deliver it to the shunting yard. And lastly, you must pick up...
Another thing I feel like, it's like, I know CGI is not done very well in this, I will give it. But compared to 10 and 11, this is more like engaging to my head.
Really?
Yeah.
You actually prefer this over season 10 and 11?
I'm gonna be on it. It's probably due to nostalgia, just because I did not watch season 10 or 11 very much.
Fair enough.
But we got
an old tractor from Farmer McCall's and take it to the repair yard. Yes, sir. And you must take Hank with you. Hank must see the important sights of Sodor. Be back by tea time for Hank's welcome party at Knapford.
Wait, why? Wait. He said, okay, he has to take him around to see the sights of Sodor.
He's American, dude.
He's
American. Hank.
Wait, so to take the sights of Sodor, and he has a welcome party. And why Hank of all characters, not Neville or Molly? Why didn't they have welcome parties? That's weird.
Thomas buffered up to the machine cars. Hank chuffed alongside.
He's falling asleep right now.
Hello. Howdy, Thomas. Now, you look like one of the finest little engines I've ever seen. Thomas didn't like being called little. I'm a tank engine. Thomas thought Hank was being cheeky. Those freight cars are way too heavy for you. Let me take them for you. Hank meant to be helpful, but it made Thomas cross. No, thank you. I'm strong enough to pull much heavier loads than this. I'd be happy to help. But Thomas was already puffing out of the docks.
Like he uses help, like he feels belittled.
At the signal, Thomas didn't take the track to the factory. He shoved straight to the quarry. Thomas pulled ahead. I may not be grand, and I may not be long, but I will show Hank that I'm stronger than strong, he huffed to himself. Thomas and Hank puffed into the quarry. Now I'm going to pick up the stone cars.
Please acknowledge the
Hank was surprised.
Pay attention to it.
Hold your huffing there, Thomas. Let big old Hank take those cars for you.
Oh, it's part 2. Okay. Let's see. I can probably find it easily. Nope. Here we go.
He was neat. No, thank you. Tank engines can pull very heavy loads. So Thomas heaved and puffed out of the quarry. Thomas wheezed and wheezed. Handsome Hank gleamed and glowed by his side. Children waved from bridges. Hello, Thomas. Howdy. Good to see you. Hey, Thomas, aren't you going to whistle hello? Thomas hadn't the puff to whistle hello. Hank had plenty of puff. This made Thomas even crosser. Thomas pulled up to the hole. He was nearly out of puff. Hello, Farmer McCall. This is Hank. He's the new engine on Sodor. Howdy, Farmer McCall.
Howdy.
That's a mighty fine tractor you have. Say, Thomas, you look all out of puff and pull. I'll take it for you. No, thank you. And the tractor was coupled up to the end of Thomas's freight cars. Thomas huffed and he puffed, and his wheels spun and spun.
Is that even a word?
Come on, Thomas, the train's too heavy for you. Take the pressure off your pistons. Couple me up. But Thomas was determined to pull the train on his own.
Pressure off.
We must not be late for your party. Wheel turn by wheel turn, Thomas puffed away. Thomas and Hank arrived at Marin Station. Visitors waved at Thomas. Thomas wanted to whistle back, but he hadn't any back. But he
Look at all those people. Like, look at how realistic that looks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not like oh, they look like real people, but like having like a whole line of people there, like that. I feel like, you know, I mean, then they're animated, they're moving, like they're actually waving at the engine. You know, I like that. I'm not gonna lie.
Thomas wanted to whistle back, but he hadn't any spare steam. Howdy, everybody. Thomas is a little overloaded right now. I'll whistle for him. Hank had lots of steam, and Hank blew the longest and loudest whistle. Then there was trouble. Thomas had cracked the cylinder. The train was much too heavy. Oh, no. Now the deliveries won't be made. You won't be back in time for your welcome party. And I'm not a really useful engine.
Nope, you are
or
not.
even a really strong one.
Nope.
Shucks, Thomas. I'm so sorry. That's too bad. I wanted to show you that I wasn't just a fine little steam engine.
I'm sorry. I don't know why that's funny.
His reaction to,
Wait.
sorry. That's too bad.
That's too bad. Shucks, Thomas. I'm so sorry. That's too bad.
What the heck was that? Like, okay, are you going to do something about it? He's just like, shucks, Thomas, that's too bad. I'm so sorry. Like, you're not gonna offer any solution to help. What the heck? I don't know why I find that so funny. I gotta hear that one more time. I'm so sorry. I know I'm like, I don't. That might be the worst best random moment right there. I don't know. That's you know what? That's honestly a typical like American right there. Just like you're like, yeah, man. Wish I could help. Wish I knew what to do. Yeah, I'm so sorry, man. Like, okay, are you gonna do anything? Are you gonna offer help, bro? I'm sorry for derailing the stream. I don't know why I thought that's.
They arrived just in time for.
Henry has Gordon's face, and it's both the same face and like the two. Actually, this looks more like the classic Gordon face if you look at it. I've like never noticed this until like way later. I don't know. I'm not sure how. Also, why is it Hank? Hank out of all characters, out of all the new characters introduced in the hit era, out of Molly, like Stanley, Neville, all those. Why Hank of all characters? And you know what? Flora kind of got a welcome party too.
Oh, really?
It was. There we go. All right. So that was Hevo Thomas. I'm at a loss for words. That's what to say. I kind of chose the worst episode to defend my point on season 12. I'm not gonna lie. But I feel like that's the episode that best kind of sums up season 12. Like, you know what? It's got it's good in concept and execution. It is in some aspects, and you know, this was their first season really delving into the CGI realm. So you know, I feel like if they continued on, they could have improved it more over time. But they didn't, and maybe the CGI and model costs just cost way too much. So, okay, and I'm gonna say I don't mind the CGI. I really don't. Yeah, I feel like it's compared to the rest of the hit era. I think 8 and 9 are better. So I guess my totem pole will go 8, 9, and they're kind of neck and neck for me, honestly. 8, 9, 12, and then 10 and 11 are kind of neck and neck for me as well. But yeah, I don't think we'll do another one.
You don't think we'll do another one?
Yeah, we'll kind of. What time is it? It's 10:56. We'll do like another 15-20 minutes just to for the stream, just to like sit and answer questions, because I kind of like doing that. So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to let me know. I think Terence is kind of knocked out right now, so well
yeah, sorry folks.
Nah, you're all right, man.
You know, but highly recommend watching James Works It Out's a good one, and Gordon Takes a Shortcut.
Those two are great. Actually, but I really like Excellent Emily as well. That's a good one. Let me look up the list real quick.
You can rank them all.
Let's. Oh, that's a good idea, actually. Season 12. You don't feel obligated to say anything. By the way, I know you're tired.
No, you're good. I'm
on this season 12. Okay, let's get the really bad ones out of the way. Okay, Duncan in the hot air balloon was kind of a stupid one. That one's a fun one to watch, but like that one's weird. That one's like, you know, that might be where I know Up and the Way was a stupid episode, but it was really this one that kind of started the whole balloon on the flat that had already blown up sort of thing when you think about it.
Yeah.
Don't go back. And Push Me Pull You. Push Me Pull You is that's definitely in the top 10 like worst Thomas episodes of all time, I will say. Those are like the really bad episodes. But even episodes like Best Friends, like that one's not the best, but I enjoy it. Actually, enjoy is a strong word. Okay, so my favorite episode is season 12. I guess I would have to go with James Works It Out. I like Gordon Takes a Shortcut. It's probably a top 5er for me. But the geography does not make any sense. And like I said, if you all have any last minute questions, feel free.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was asking in the chat.
Oh, okay.
I like Henry gets it wrong. Thompson's the billboard. Toby special surprise is kind of fun. I really like Percy in the Bandstand just because of Brock, Bat, Jack, and Alfie. Like, I'm surprised they actually did that. And I was a kid, I couldn't even tell it was like the large Percy prop. Okay, Man in the Hills is kind of a dumb one. Tram Troubles, eh. I like Rosie's Carnival Special. Okay, I like Mountain Marvel a lot. Mountain Marvel's a good one. Saved You is okay, and I really like the Party Surprise. I just want to know which train is the freakiest. I'm not gonna pull out that picture. I'm trying to figure out which one of my friends that is. I feel like that's Devin. It's either Devin or Vince. I have a pretty strong feeling that is Devin. If I haven't missed anything, which train is the? Well, all right. I might as well answer your question. I guess Diesel 10, just because he has the claw. I don't know. I'm trying to look if there's any questions I missed. Okay, yeah, we're only at 3 viewers. Okay, it's 11 o'clock. We'll probably call it a stream here. Yeah. Sorry it wasn't as engaging as last stream. But
folks, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I'm literally dead here, folks. I'm here. I'm just laying down. I'm just like.
Yeah. So.
God,
yeah, I feel like thank you to anyone who like popped in. But
yes, thank you, folks. I'm gonna rewatch this tomorrow, and I'm gonna realize how cringe I was.
Yeah, probably. But I enjoy the stream. I will definitely use the shucks, Thomas. I'm so sorry.
That's too bad.
That's too bad. Oh my god! If I was more popular, I would probably
cringe.
I would probably do the that would probably turn into a whole Welcome Stanley meme again. What was Thomas doing in the 1940s? What was he doing in the 1940s? He was probably still on his branch line. I wonder if there's any stories. I think that's when maybe Thomas and Birdie's Great Race took place. Maybe. Actually, I did a timeline video. I kind of want to see now.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, so Tank Engine Thomas again. That's sort of where Thomas. Yeah, so Thomas was Birdie's Great Race was in 1948. So that's what he was racing buses in 1948. There we go. Yeah, I feel like that's a good place to end the stream here. So thank you for stopping by, guys, and I will see you guys next time. I'm not sure when the next time I'll stream is. I'm not really. I don't want to flood my channel with streams, but we'll see. I might get some other people on here. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.